Youth, and the Ministry of Youth and Sport has responded to claims by coach CK AKONNOR that he did not receive monies up to $100,000 as communicated by the Minister of Youth and Sports during a press briefing here in Accra. In the ministry's release, it contains details of monies that have been transferred to the account of Coach CK AKONNOR. Okay, so let's make time to go through the release by the Ministry of Youth and Sports. Okay, so in a release dated 31st July 2023, on the letterhead of the Ministry of Youth and Sport, it has the heading, Clarification on Coach AKONNOR's Contractual Payments. Okay. It says, the attention of the Ministry of Youth and Sport has been drawn to publications in the media regarding an amount of money owed the former coach of the Black Stars, Charles Kwablan AKONNOR, following the termination of his contract. In response to the claims made by Coach AKONNOR in the said publications, the ministry would like to clarify the details of payment transactions in accordance with the agreement between him and the Ghana Football Association. Payment transactions. Upon the termination of Coach AKONNOR's contract, he was paid an amount of 318,000 cedis, 378.41 cedis, equivalent to $54,000 at a rate of 5.89. This payment was disbursed on 22nd October 2021. On 10th February 2022, he received an amount of 335,675.71 cedis, equivalent to $54,054.06 at a rate of 6.21. On 12th January 2023, an amount of 860,000 cedis, equivalent to $100,000, was disbursed at a rate of 8.60. On the 27th July 2023, an amount of $30,000 was paid by check, which he declined and instead requested for a bank transfer. The said transfer has been effected on Monday, 31st July 2023. A total amount of $508,108 has been paid, leaving an outstanding balance of $220,000. Contractual agreement. The detailed provisions of the contractual agreement between Coach Charles Kwablan AKONNOR and the Ghana Football Association is available and can be used as reference for verification. The Ministry of Youth and Sports would like to assure Coach AKONNOR and the public that we have always been committed to fulfilling our contractual obligations. Let me start with you, Alfred. The back and forth between Coach CK AKONNOR and the Ministry of Youth and Sports. And this started with the Minister of Youth and Sports admitting at the Meet the Press series or at a press briefing at the Ministry of Information, Accra, last week, that they still owed Coach CK AKONNOR some unpaid salaries, but a compensation of $100,000 was paid to CK AKONNOR when his contract was terminated. And same with a former Black Stars trainer, Milovan Rajvac, whose contract was also terminated after the Africa Cup of Nations. Coach CK AKONNOR, we understand in an interview with Graphic, yes, stated that the amount of money paid to him was not up to $100,000 as claimed by the sports minister, and even asked that the minister and the ministry could check with the Ghana Football Association.
how do we tackle this issue? And this, I don't even understand why this is in the public domain. From the report or from the interview, you get the impression that CK is looking at more than the $100,000. Because if you analyze the situation, you notice that he was sacked 4 months before the end of his contract, and it was on $25,000 a month. So the last 4 months on his contract meant that the FA, if the FA were to pay him off, they would have to pay him 100,000 cedis. That is $25,000 by the last 4 months. Now, it was also suggested that prior to his dismissal, the FA owed him 7 months of his salary. This was also put that the FA owed him 7 months of his salary, in addition to the last 4 months on his contract. So he was probably expecting something in the region of 275,000 thereabouts. Now, the FA is the ministry is saying or claiming that they've paid him $100,000. But if you look at it will help if CK could come out to state exactly how much he was paid, because your employer says he's paid you $100,000. You are saying, well, you've received some payment, but it's not up to $100,000. I think the onus should be on CK to tell us, okay, I have received this much. Then the FA can speak. The FA can speak to the figures. But as we speak now, it's very difficult for you to make a case. Sorry, the ministry. As we speak now, it's very difficult for you to make a case for CK when he has not come up publicly to state how much he's been paid. So we'll be forced to take the ministry's word for it. But I think the coach, the former coach, should come out and also indicate how much he's been paid. In any case, the contract is still there. So I really don't see the back and forth and the head and tail of this whole thing. The contract is there. The ministry can visit the contract. Of course, they cannot make the contract public. It's a private document, so the contract cannot be made public. But salaries of coaches and players are always known. And if CK is on 25, or if CK was on $25,000 per month, I think it's very easy for us to calculate how much the last 4 months of his contract will be. And if indeed it's true that he was owed 7 months prior to his appointment, then I think the ministry should pay the entire $275,000 so that all this matter will come to rest.
Okay. Sheikh, your take on the issue, the back and forth with CK
AKONNOR. I believe that if CK had not publicly said that he's not been paid that much, as the minister said, perhaps the ministry wouldn't have published the details of how much they have paid him. So it's a cause and effect, it's a cause of in effect banter that we are dealing with. For me, I think that CK is not doing us a lot of good. The ministry said they have paid you $100,000. If it is true that they have not paid you that $100,000, and the minister said that, it's within your right to say that no. If the minister thinks he's paid me $100,000, this is how much I have gotten. In any case, the ministry does not even pay the money through anybody. They pay it straight to you either by check or by bank transfer, as indicated in the letter. You understand? So the reaction of CK is the reason why the ministry came up with that particular statement, detailing how much they have paid him. And from what we have seen here, he's been paid about $508,000. $508,000 so far, and it's left with about $220,000 to be paid. I recall listening to the minister at the media press, honestly admitting that they have not been able to follow their payment plan with CK and Milo, but this is how much they have been able to pay. But they are still in the process of paying the rest which they will pay. So if out of close to about $800,000, they have been able to pay you $508,000 and it's left with $220,000, I don't think you should position yourself in an antagonistic manner to make it appear that the ministry has not paid you. And from what we have seen, I think one of them is not being honest with us. Either it is the ministry or it is CK. But from the figures that I have seen, I am tempted to believe that, I am tempted to say that CK is not being honest with us.
How?
The ministry have told us how much they have paid you. They've given details, including dates and the sort of transfer they did, whether by check or by bank transfer. They have indicated all.
Okay.
If it is that it is not true, you have every right to tell Ghanaians that that statement is not true.
You are tempted to believe that?
Yeah, I'm tempted to believe that CK is not being honest to us.
Okay. I have a question for you, but I would want to take Manchester's initial thoughts before I come back to you.
Why do we even in the first place get to this point? Will you do this to a foreign coach?
Milo
Yes,
is also
Milo is old.
Listen,
Yes.
listen. The question is, how many times have we not seen this when it comes to local coaches? Milo's own might not be loud because they have been backdoors communications. Why do we treat our own like this? He has worked. Do you need to wait till when before you do payment? Till when? Pay him off. I come work for you. You don't need my service. Whatever you owe me, pay me off. Let me go. How many years down the lane?
I think 2. Oh, it's been 2 years since he left, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
2 years and you've still not paid his fully owed amount. Why are we doing this? And if CK said something that I don't think, Michael, your attention came to it. My senior colleague is telling me that he's tempted to believe that CK is lying. But yet lies the case that CK has mentioned the GFA's name in it. He said the amount the minister is talking about, the $100,000, it's not up to. And if they think he's lying, they should cross-check with the FA. Yet lies the case the FA name has been drawn in.
But I mean, from
coming.
the ministry's statement, you get the impression that the ministry paid the money directly.
I am telling you that, Michael, I am telling you that it will shock you that if you give CK the platform to talk.
Manche.
You listen, wait. He will reveal things. Probably he doesn't want to go further. He is telling you that if you think he is lying, cross-check with the FA.
Is that we should cross-check the FA? And he
contracts.
didn't talk about the amount paid.
He was talking about the contracts.
About the contract.
But he said the $100,000 they gave him is not what? It's not the amount. Am I right?
Yes.
That was
So
the point
the question is, how much did he
And I'm
receive?
saying that CK doesn't want to go further. We all know in this country there will be back talk, Masa, German and Ka. If like we should give him the platform, we will hear things.
But
How come the FA get involved? Do you think CK will just mention the FA
No, but the
just like
contract,
that?
but I'm coming.
His reference, CK's reference to
CK
the
references to the
FA was
contract.
regards to the
Listen,
contract.
I am telling.
Okay,
Listen,
hold on.
the point
See,
I'm trying to make is that
Manted, CK made reference to the contract.
Yes.
He asked that the ministry cross-check with the contract.
terms
of his
contract, if they
Yes.
have any doubt.
yes,
And the contracts with Black Stars coaches have always been between the FA and the coaches. But the payment is done by the ministry.
but do you listen? The reason why I'm telling you that we should look at that side also very well is that it's the FA that serves as a middleman between the coach and the ministry.
That is true.
There will be no payment without the FA knowing about it.
But
Are you aware about that?
do you
Yeah,
have-
that's true.
So if he is drawing the FA involved, it means that whatever was given to him, the FA is aware and knows about it.
They should be.
They should be. So that is why I'm telling you that CK is hinting at something, but we are failing not to look at it from that angle. He is telling you that look at the contract and verify with the FA, which means in the money aspect also, the FA is aware if truly what the minister is saying is true.
What you are saying can only happen if CK is paid through the
the
FA.
FA.
What
But
I'm
if
saying
CK
is-
receives the money
No,
directly,
he doesn't need to be paid through the FA. But we all believe that whatever money that will be sent to FA, for evidence sake,
Okay.
the middleman will be aware.
Yeah,
Now,
that's true. That is true.
Sheikh, let me come to you. Now, you look through the release by the
Ministry.
ministry. And I ask you this because you draw conclusion from the ministry's release and say you are tempted to believe that CK is not being truthful or honest with us. Now, the ministry has stated various payments to CK AKONNOR without necessarily stating or making emphasis on what those payments represented. The payment, I mean, they have stated the dates and the amount paid to CK AKONNOR. As to whether they represented sign-on fee,
Bonuses.
as to whether they represented bonuses,
Or
salaries, or the compensation of $100,000, which CK spoke about. Because CK has not denied receiving money from
the
FA.
Yes.
What he's denied is $100,000 representing compensation for the termination of his contract. So, Sheikh, where do we draw the lines?
Okay, so I listened to the minister, and the minister also did not mention compensation.
No, the minister, no.
He said we owed.
No,
Yes,
no.
the minister
But the
mentioned-
minister
But
said
only-
that. The minister said that CK AKONNOR and Milovan Rajvat were paid $100,000 when their contracts were terminated. So if you make such a statement without further details, the impression or what it literally means is that they were paid $100,000 for compensation.
So that is how you understand it.
No, but
I don't understand it. that way. Wait.
Revelation indicates that CK was sacked 4 months to the end of his contract, and if he was on $25,000 a month, that could
is
equal to
$50,000.
that would equal to
That
the
is 500,000.
No, 100,000.
100,000.
So the 100,000 could be the last 4 months of his contract. So the 100,000 could be unlawful termination of contract. It could be anything. So
Good.
I think
So-
there are a lot of details missing from
that
the
is-
communication.
There is no detail missing from here.
What makes you think there is no
CK
detail missing?
Let
I'm
him
explaining.
explain.
CK's contract was terminated with the FA as the head coach of the Blasters.
Yeah.
You and I know who pays CK. It is the ministry.
states.
Yeah.
Even when he was working under the FA, he was receiving his salaries directly
Direct from
the
there.
FA. So first
From the
of
ministry,
all,
not the FA.
From the
the
ministry.
ministry. First of all, monies do not go through the FA before they get to the coaches. So the FA will not know whether somebody has been paid or not unless the person draws their attention. I have not been paid for them to maybe push for him.
Oh,
to
I
get
think when
payment.
if the state if the
I'm
ministry
coming.
if the ministry makes a
but
payment,
I
they will
understand.
notify them.
I am
They will
making
notify
this-
the
Sheikh
they will
is
notify
making me
the
under
people.
Michael.
I am
Sheikh is
making
making me
this in
understand
reference-
that.
No, let
Allow
him
to
land.
make his point.
I am
Let him
making
land.
this in reference to the fact that Manchester said, CK said, if they want, they should cross-check with the FA. The cross-checking was in relation with
To the contract, not the
not
payment.
how much they paid him. How
Not
much
payment.
they paid him went through his account.
What I'm saying,
It did not go through the FA for the FA to
Sheikh.
confirm or deny that. You understand?
But
That
the
is
FA will be
number one.
notified.
listen. You are telling Sheikh is making us understand that
that
the
is
FA
different from
terminated
whether-
the contract between CK.
Please,
Between
I am on
them
the
and
floor.
CK.
Let me make my point. When I finish, you can come in.
I allow
You
Sheikh
understand?
to make his point.
So whether CK has been paid or has not been paid is the issue here. You understand? The ministry has given a detail of how much they have given to CK. First of all, you and I never knew that CK had been paid some $30,000. Has been paid some $54,000. You never knew. None of us knew that CK has been given that money until today.
No, but you see,
I'm coming.
Sheikh, that is where the challenge is because the ministry also in their release
They
do
do
not
state.
meet the whole release is a bit complicated because they do
It's
not
not
state
straightforward.
they do not state
Why they were
wait,
paying.
wait,
What's
Michael.
the thousand
Well,
was
paid.
for?
Okay, you and I.
So let's say
Wait.
if someone comes out with an argument now that okay, even the $508,000, he thinks CK has been overpaid. Because to be frank, when I saw the money, that
Michael,
we have paid him
You can only say somebody has been overpaid when you know how much the person deserves.
Michael,
to
Michael.
So they should tell
So
us
how
what
much
the
does
government
it
has
take?
Calm down, calm down.
Where I don't understand,
Calm
Sheikh,
down.
where I'm confused about Sheikh's
Relax,
submission
relax.
is very simple.
So the
if Sheikh
point
is telling
that,
me
the point is that CK's contract has been terminated.
by who?
He's been
By who?
By the FA.
So who sends a report to the ministry that look, we've terminated this guy's contract?
The FA.
he's the FA.
So who sends the report of financial settlement
entitlement.
entitlement?
Yeah, based
Who
on the
sends-
contract,
wait,
it's the
who
FA.
sends the report?
It's the FA.
So are you telling me that if the ministry wants to pay CK, even though the ministry pays CKs directly to his account, the FA is not aware?
No, the FA will be aware.
That nobody's saying that the FA is not
FA
aware.
being aware is even from
It's
FA
different from
paying
the
through.
FA
So
pay-
that is what I'm
the
telling you,
ministry
that
does not pay
CK's
the FA.
comment about dragging the FA into this matter, it's simple because
He
the
mentioned
FA
it
is
in
aware
relation
about the
to the
contract.
contract.
So yeah,
The
FA
listen, what I'm
supports all
saying,
this.
the point I'm trying to establish, that my senior colleague doesn't understand, is very simple.
It's
His
not that I
contract
don't
was
understand. You are
terminated by the
complicating
FA.
matters.
You get me?
You are just contradicting
now,
yourself.
CK is trying to tell you that go and verify with the FA.
How much?
Their contracts. And I'm telling you that he didn't go into details, but let's us be logic. If he's telling you that, it means the FA too is aware about the money that was given to him. Because every payment that will be sent to CK's account,
The FA will be
the
notified.
FA will be notified that, look, we've paid this and this and this.
So Manche, I mean, in all of this, what point are you making?
My
about
point
this?
is that, look, the ministry is telling that $100,000. CK now too is telling us that $100,000 is not up to. So the listen, he's
the
telling,
middleman is
the middleman needs to be questioned. The middleman needs to be called to the table to answer certain questions.
So Manche, what if the payment? I'm coming. What if the payment was direct from the ministry to
CK's
CK
account?
AKONNOR? What would have been the role of the middleman?
Listen, that's what I'm telling you, that the middleman, no matter what happens, any transaction that happens, for evidence sake and clarification sake, receipt to be sent to the middleman.
Unless Manche is suggesting.
That is your position.
Yes.
My position is that so long CK has been able to drag the FA needs to be called to the table. Because here lies the case.
To do what? To do what?
To answer some questions.
What question?
A question, for example, a question like, your minister that you work with, that both of you combined to employ me, is telling the public that he gave me $100,000. Between you and I, you are aware about this $100,000 is not up to. Please tell the people.
Okay, Manche, I think that your point is well made. Sheikh was.
Is this a statement or a question?
Oh, Sheikh.
It's a statement. It's a question.
You were asked a question about where we draw the line of CK AKONNOR not being honest, because the ministry's statement also does not state emphatically that he was paid $100,000.
But I think the bigger question is why is CK reluctant to state the amount that he was paid?
I will even come there. So I'm coming. The $100,000 that CK is saying he's not being paid that $100,000. Which $100,000 is he referring to?
We don't know. That's the question.
You understand? So it is not that the ministry is not telling us the money, whether it is for compensation, whether it is salaries or whatever. Even CK himself is also not telling us that I am owed compensation this way, I am owed salaries this way, I am owed bonuses this way. And the ministry has made us understand, me from what I have read here, and from the conclusion that you drew, if CK is paid $25,000 a month, for the 4 months it's $100,000.
Yes.
But we are seeing figures here as much as $500 and something thousand dollars.
That is what Michael is saying.
I'm coming. Let me.
We should have the breakdowns of the money.
Getting to $700,000 plus.
Yes.
What this means is that, per the conclusions, it includes salaries, it includes bonuses, it includes compensation.
But what makes you think it includes all those things?
And arrears. It was apparently it was all 7 months arrears to prior to his sacking.
I'm coming.
So it could also
so that's why I said salaries.
Yes.
Salaries. So it includes salaries, it includes bonuses. It includes compensation.
Now we are guessing because we don't know, because the statement is not.
That is the conclusion I am drawing, because even CK himself did not also tell us that he is owed compensation this way or that way or this way. So I am also drawing my conclusion based on the figures that I've seen, because per the amount of money that he's supposed to be paid at the end of the month is not up to the $700,000 that we are seeing here. You understand? So if he is taking $720 something thousand, what it means then is, to me, is that it includes all the things that I have mentioned.
Now you are guessing.
You are guessing.
No,
I'm coming.
Alfred, allow him to make his point.
And
If
there
you
is
have any
nothing.
reaction, then you
There
make.
is nothing that I can do without guessing. Even you have to do the same thing, because the ministry has not told you that we are paying A, B, C, D for this.
Exactly.
CK himself also has not told us that he's received A, B, C, D for that.
And that is the bigger problem. The communication has to be clear.
So allow me to guess and make my conclusion. If they want us to be clear, they can give us back the figures.
So
CK has not told the world how much he has received, but the ministry has mentioned it,
Yes.
which is even more than the $100,000 that the minister said.
Yes.
You understand? It's more than the $100,000 that he said at the meet the press. So if they have paid more than that.
But-
and CK is saying
but
that he has
Michael-
not received that. How much has he received?
That's the part from CK. CK must
but
also tell us
listen,
how much
listen,
he
How much
Michael,
has
received.
he taken?
you see, it all boils down to my point. For my senior man submission, it all boils down to my point.
My senior man, on the Kawasa.
That's why he's senior.
If the middleman has played his role very well, we will not have
Oh,
gotten
why
to
you-
where we
why you
are.
bent on bringing the SA in?
Listen, no, you see, it would not get it. Wait, let me.
Why will I
wait,
get
wait,
it?
wait,
When
wait, wait.
why will I get it? Wait.
Why you
When
bent on
you
bringing
take
the
your
SA
money
in?
directly
Wait,
from me,
if the
then you go
middleman
and blame
has-
Africa for it.
Shey, relax,
Listen,
Shey,
if the
relax.
middleman has played his work very well,
Okay, so what should have been the ideal role of the middleman?
Look, it was true the middleman that CK was given the job.
Okay.
Because the FA scouted CK and presented CK to the ministry that this is who we've appointed, right?
We want to
Good. Now, the same FA realized that CK is not capable of handling the position in which they gave him on behalf of the ministry, right? If terminations has come in, don't you think it is the same middleman responsibility to see that CK has been settled?
I agree.
So all this brouhaha, who do we hold responsible?
But if the FA makes the proposal to the ministry that look, we've sacked this guy and he's due this much.
Yes.
We've sacked this guy and he's due this much. If the state doesn't pay, the FA can do nothing.
The FA can do something.
What can they do?
The FA cannot do anything. At this point,
What can they do?
At this point in time, the FA acts as a lawyer or as an intermediate between the two. So listen, I am complaining about my money. I don't know the ministry from anywhere. It is you I know. Through you, I got to know the ministry. If I have any problem concerning financial issues, it is you I will come to.
But I'm sure CK is made
So
to know.
therefore, I'm
Wait,
telling you-
I'm sure CK is
Yes.
made to know that the payment comes from the ministry, and he's aware that the payment comes from the ministry.
But the FA has no excuse to delay for 2 good years.
The FA
And we'll
doesn't
see.
make the payment.
The FA doesn't make the payment, but the FA has every right to put mount pressure on the ministry to do
If
what
they
is
do
right.
and the ministry doesn't pay, what can the FA do?
Then they are not doing what is right.
Okay, this is what happened when the contract was terminated, and the minister said it at the conference. So hold your gun. The minister said that when the contract was terminated, they had an agreement, a payment plan with the people involved. And he was honest enough to tell the whole Ghana that per that payment plan, they have not been able to go by that. But they are doing their best to pay the money. He said it.
So
And
now,
so, the payment plan was not done with the GFA.
So
it
now-
was done with the person
Michael,
who is old.
Michael,
And
so
even
now
today,
you see what I said?
if you owe somebody and the issue is taken to court, when you go to the court, you have an agreement with the person as a
Payment plan.
Yeah,
Yes.
exactly. So you go by that
so
payment
Michael,
plan.
you see,
do you
the-
agree to me
the-
that Sheikh
for
has
me-
made my
for me-
point very clear?
What
me-
You are telling
You
me
are
that.
not
Listen,
making
listen,
any
listen.
point
For me,
No,
the
but you are
substantial,
telling me
the
that
substantial,
again.
Sheikh, the substantial issue is not the payment plan.
It's what was paid.
What was paid
substantial issue is CK Akono.
No, I am. Before
because
you continue, Michael, excuse me. I am only making it clear to him that trying his possible best anything to drag in the GFA does not come in because.
Why
when the
does it?
payment
It's
plan
not.
was
I'm
being
trying my possible, but
established,
you just made a point
It was
here.
established between
Michael,
CK Akono
Michael,
and the sports
Fred,
ministry, not
Fred,
the GFA.
You just made a point here that the minister admitted that before payment, the payment structure plan, all parties were called to the table, and there was an agreement between everybody involved. So it tells you that the middleman has played a vital role.
Nobody's denying that.
So that is why I am saying that if CK should give us an example
Mate.
of what he said,
So you are trying to tell
then we
us
should
that-
ask the FA some
wait.
questions.
You are trying to
FA,
tell us that
CK is telling
if-
us that the
if-
minister didn't pay
if-
$100,000, but he paid this
Mate,
amount.
you are telling
Is
us
it
that
true?
during
The
the
only person that
negotiation-
can determine right now,
during the negotiation,
Michael, the only person that can
GFA
determine right now
the
whether
GFA told the ministry.
the ministry
So
paid
who are the viewers
listen,
listening to? Relax.
the only person that can determine the truth that the ministry paid $100,000 or the ministry didn't pay $100,000 is the middleman.
How?
Because the middleman was on the table of negotiation. Per what Sheikh is telling me.
The agreement the middleman will be aware of the agreement of the payment structure.
Plan, and every
But
payment,
as to whether, yes,
before every payment, middleman needs to be concerned.
Thank you very much, Christian Mensah Manche, Alfred Hansen,
Alfred,
and Sheikh Tofik Sidi.
you put it-
I think that we will come back tomorrow with this very issue. We need to find. There's a lot more. I'm coming.
Our viewers are okay with whatever.
How do you determine that?
No, they,
How do you determine that?
It's simple.
No,
how do you determine that?
Discerning enough to understand whatever we are
Sheikh,
saying.
I'm saying that.
How do you determine
I
that?
owe you.
Sheikh,
I owe you.
Sheikh,
The issue goes to court.
what I'm saying is that
I have an agreement
from
with you
from
to
CK
pay you.
From CK
You want to
AKONNOR.
bring in a third
But
From
if
the
you go
ministry
there, we go to
and
court.
from
The court will
GFA,
provide a
between
witness.
now and
Two of us.
tomorrow, 11 a.m. We must find out more information. I will do that. And tomorrow we'll come back with
Do
this
it.
issue
Do
with
it.
more filler.
Because-
So thank you very much, Christian Mensah Manche, Alfred Hansen, and Sheikh Tofik Sidi. That's how we wrap up this edition of Metro Sport.